and welcome. Thank you for watching. Today I want to talk about this topic. Today comes from a viewer and subscriber, so a shout out goes to Michael for coming up with this topic. And like the title of the video says, why hasn't the United States had a female president? And the easy answer that people would jump to and say is, well, because the United States doesn't respect women, the culture. And that's true. But some will say, well, there are other cultures that don't respect women as well. But they have women presidents and leaders. And the reason for that is those cultures do not disrespect women the same way the American culture does. In some of these cultures, the women are considered the brains and the men considered the brawn. The women have the intelligence and the men have the muscles. So they're not considered less all around. They're considered different but equal in their own way. And if you want someone smart, well, then you better get a woman because they're the intelligent ones. This is how it's thought. And a lot of these countries, it's hierarchy too. Like the Queen, she's not elected. She just happens to be part of a bloodline that they think is better than you, which is all nonsense, in my opinion. Some people may think that there are other human beings that are superior simply because who their family is. But generally, the only people that think that way are the people about their own family. So let's go back to the American culture and find out what is it that has kept Americans from electing a woman president. Because clearly that women are very intelligent. I mean, the person we have in the White House now speaks at the level of a third grader. His spelling is that of a third grader, fifth grader. Let's be realistic, about fifth grade, sixth grade. An elementary school student intelligence. And this is not an opinion, I mean, because you can look yourself with your eyes and your ears and watch and listen to the president we have right now, and you can see and hear that he spells and speaks at an elementary school level. Now, if you yourself have an elementary school intelligence, well, then you might think he is a genius. But he's not. In reality, he's not. Geniuses can spell hamburger, and they can speak in complete sentences. So clearly there are women out there that are more intelligent than some of the presidents we've had. Not only this one. Now, so why? Well, the culture that the American people grow up in, and it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl and you're being raised in this country, you're being raised to believe that women are less. Men and boys, and girls too, will use terms that are feminine or call a boy a girl to put him down. You're a girl, you're a sissy, you're pussy. terms to put a boy down are terms to describe them as a girl. Women do it and men do it, and what it's saying is women are less, and it's been driven into their heads since they've been young. So you can see how it's been taught through the years. And this is one aspect that causes men and women to have a view of women as being less. Another one is the more wealthy a country is, the more it imprisons its people. The more wealth, the more they imprison. Less wealth, less imprisoned. And the reason for this is because when you grow up in a society that is telling you in order to be successful, you need to be wealthy. So this builds a connection, which is false, by the way. In order to be successful, the definition of success is to complete a specific task. So to be successful, you must complete a specific task. Now, that task can be playing basketball, if you're successful and you do well. But the task that you need to do to be a human is to stay alive. That is your task. When you're born, your task is to stay alive. Not collect some imaginary wealth that someone tells you is important, but to stay alive. And to stay alive, you need food, water, shelter. That's it. That's all. And there are many people that are already successful because they provide these things for themselves, and they don't even know they're successful because they've been told they're not, because they don't have access. This idea of it's a lie, first of all, that if you, in order to be successful, you need more money than you know what to do with. Because money doesn't make people happy. In fact, money has been shown by psychologists and psychiatrists to cause suffering emotionally, because if you believe money is you can buy happiness with money, and you'll be successful if you have money, when you get it and it doesn't change your life, and all the different toys you buy don't fulfill you, and you still feel a lack of self-worth, because that's what you've built up, then you will try to put others down who don't have money. Because once you have the money, you want it to make you feel better. You want to feel superior. You want to feel like, yes, I am a success because I have the money. So now people need to treat me that way. And when they don't, you start putting them down. In order to build myself up, I have to put you down. So, if I see a person doing something I don't like, me and my friends will make a law against that and make it illegal. And that is why the richer a country is, the more people they imprison. Because elections are bought. They always have been, they always will be. And those who seek power, those who want power, feel they need it And the reason they feel they need it is because they don't feel good about themselves. So the ones that are seeking power and seeking elections are the ones that we don't want. We don't want people who don't feel good about themselves and feel they need power. This is, I think it was Socrates or Plato that said those who seek power are unfit for that power. And it's true. Because if you're looking for power, it's because you feel you need it, because you feel you're not good enough. So we're bringing the insecure and bringing them up and having them rule the society, the insecure. So this is why when you have the insecure leaders, well, then you're making insecure rules. So for the longest time here in this country, women were less. And they're still viewed that way. It hasn't changed much. Yes, we allow women to vote. That was and we had to fight for it. Because there are men who haven't taken the time to step back and look at reality and women, and they keep believing the nonsense that they were fed. And you can see it in society today. There are plenty of women that are great chefs, but when it comes on TV, they put the men out in front. And they do this because it makes them feel good. That's what people want to see. Oh, women can cook good, but if a man puts his mind to it, he can do even better because he's better. He's more. He's smarter, he's stronger, and all these things that they consider to make a human valuable, they link to men. And some women do it too. Some women like and have lived their whole life being less than men. They don't know any other way. They may say, oh no, I think men and women are equal, but then they go out and they expect a man to open the door for them because they're less. So you can't act that way and then say something else. And paying attention to our actions and what we do, I mean, I think it's amazing that when we open up our eyes and look at things logical and reasonable, and you look at the two candidates that were out there for election, and we have one out there who can't spell, can't speak in complete sentences, and speaks very unintelligently, makes racist statements that somehow some people think he's still better than the other person, but somehow they think he's better than the other person who is speaking intelligently in full sentences and is respectful and is not making racist statements. I don't understand it. A psychopath can be paraded in front of people and they don't even notice because they are so far out of touch with their emotions and reality, they just can't see it. If there was a presidential candidate that was a woman that was married 3 times and had children by 2 other women and cheated on her husband and paid off a male prostitute to have sex with her, they wouldn't stand a chance of winning. It would be laughable. But with a man, they don't see that as being bad because women are less. That's the way people think in the United States. It doesn't matter what they do. And the last thing that prejudiced people who think women are less, the last thing they wanted was to see a woman president. It doesn't sit right with them. They don't respect the women leaders of other countries either. This has been built into their mindset, and they're living a lie. They think it's real because they don't know any better. They're so out of touch. They're living in a bubble that is created by the past of what was taught to them, and they can't change their mind because you have to use your mind to change it. And most people aren't. And that's the basics of it. I could get into, I think I've gotten into this subject on a couple of other videos, and it needs to change, and it is changing. It's changing now because you know there's a resistance. But what people don't realize is this change is related to the stars, and most people won't believe this because they don't understand it, but the moon, the sun, the stars, and all those planets up there and stars belong to you. They've been there their whole life, and they affect you consciously, your clarity, and the precession of the equinox. And as we turn, we go through different ages, and there'll be ages where the male side of the brain has the dominance, and then there'll be times where the female side of the brain will be dominant, because there's an ebb and a flow. The Hermetic principles tell us that everything ebbs and flows, everything vibrates. There's a positive and negative. We live in a dualistic world. So the patriarchal societies will be matriarchal societies down the road. It's going to flow back and forth. And right now, we are going from having male leaders predominantly throughout the world, and the shift is on. The age of Aquarius is going to be that shift. We are right at the end of the age of Pisces, and the change is beginning. Through the age of Aquarius, there will be women leaders, mostly, on the earth. If the male side doesn't get us all killed first, which probably won't happen, because there'll always still be some people to rejuvenate society, like it has been in the past. But one's not better than the other. But a balance is what is needed for peace. Too much of one, and you're out of balance. And the same goes for individuals. We have a left and right side of our mind. Women use the right side, men use the left side more. And if you understood the opposite side of your mind, you'd understand the opposite sex better. And you can get along better. But in society today, men and women have a hard time getting along and having relationships because they don't understand. They're not in touch with that opposite gender that's also inside of them. But they've been told by society, which is a lie, that doesn't exist in you. You're either a man or a woman, and those other traits of the other gender don't exist in you, which is a lie. They do. And to get in touch with that means to get in touch with who you are as a human being. And the more in balance you are, the more in peace you'll be. And that's all I want to say for today. I want to thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe, make a comment, hit the like button, and all those things will be great. It will help my channel out. Also, check out the Hip Bee Prospecting. It's a new channel. I'll put a link in the description. And thank you. Until next time, peace.